and we start very, aggressive on riding and braking, because if I can think about
would work in Europe, and it clearly
problems, but we saw there that on that, and we are now.
The Yamaha have been strong here before.
Really compromise his final standing, because bike as well, and let's see if this morning he can. We have another session, and in the condition that we struggle.
And as well, as you can see, whilst Simon was talking, we've got a lot of work to do, especially if it...
The crashes really are a consequence of really did bite him, didn't they? Because he missed out by just a...
There, or, well, that's not the optimum line around turn 8 conditions. They found something.
He said the first 2 or 3 laps until you've got up, it's far too long. By the time you commission in the future about shortening that pit lane.
Close my eyes. Oh, bit of a twitch there for the Italian.
He said sometimes hat on again this weekend, which I wasn't expecting. I mean,
so cold. He also just mentioned the fact, because of course yesterday saying it's dangerous in terms of the way to get through Q1. Of course, only 2 places available
on circuit, and as we said, he couldn't really offer any work for Alex Rins to do in Q1.
This man, of course, was the race winner last year.
Was it in wet weather conditions, and obviously he's got no expensive issue stopping the bike, which is normally running wide. It was a setup that just didn't work out.
He was in 4th place overall.
He's tech legend and tech guru Guicu's just over a 10th clear of his fellow Italian Franco tyres this year. Steve, we know how problematic. I'd have crashed somewhere else later in the lap, so you can...
And turn 8. Wet weather conditions. We haven't had a flag-to-flag race since 27.
Luke King of the flag-to-flag races.
Something with the throttle hand, meaning wasn't responding. Running okay, so now they're swapping wheels.
He's down on track time, severely down on track time.
Hence cleared then now of Juan Mir. More with that
setting is working, and that was not something that
ends right now. Mir, Miller, and Morbidelli's entire World Championship career. Not a lot
to go back to P1 here, and we're riding on board.
He's looking so good in the wet race here a few months ago. Back, and every time you approach turn 3, you're always... He couldn't negotiate turn 6. Just speculating that may well have what happened to Jack Miller, pushing that little bit too hard when he went down it.
Give it another go. Are they second time lucky?
So we now on screen there, or behind one of his mechanics, Sue. So he's the top Yamaha runner in this wet session. Like you said, Steve, yesterday, he's finished every Grand Prix so far with that softer tyre allocation, particularly with the...
Got a place in Q2 as they try and turn that too, by the looks of things. Of course, a great result for Morbidelli.
That Franco's side of the garage did. I heard, I'd love to know.
So, you know, track by track, it can also be completely continue in the same way as we did in the crash test.
Thank you. About Le Mans, can you give us an idea?
Just to find the limit, and if they find the limit,
Well, go. Thank you for your time. And
pace as well, as has this man. His big rival.
Plays for long, was he, Marquez? Normally such. Over recent history, it's been Marquez, Dovizioso.
Yeah, and another good lap kite work, but it was quite clear that those settings, he was really struggling, and then in Mazzano at the test, they found from the likes of Pol Espargaro and Alex Marquez.
That precise, because he's not riding the bike like he wants to today. It's very difficult. He says when you're in that situation, you've got to be very right at the back end of 2019.
The line, something happened to him on that
boost for him as well. Well, he wouldn't have.
Chuchi was going well here in FP3, and the
struggling at the moment, down an 18 spot Binder.
Hitters behind him, so
yeah,
it's a good effort.
And Le Mans is no great surprise to say, or hear him say yesterday, in that first sector for Marini, that's where he was lacking time yesterday. He tips it in.
Putting a few too many laps now on that soft and start.
I'm sure he knows exactly what happened. Actually, in both wet and dry conditions yesterday, didn't he, Maverick? And he was
have passed then. Remember that day well. Maverick Vinales,
and a big future ahead of him. Riders that come into the World Championship and win.
He just crossed the line, so it's got to be turn 3. It is deck. Alex Marquez missing the session due to some technical issues at the start.
Didn't like that, and we see that so often, don't we?
In 16th, which is a step forward because he problems. We have no clear direction.
Both riders have one of each chassis. You know what I'm saying? The base of each. And
the moment down in 16th place, his teammate Alex Marquez.
Doesn't it, Matt? That in terms of, we know how it is continuing. I mean, this is going to be an improved lap.
The word into turn 3.
Too much hard work.
Yeah, Zarco alluded to this away, although Fabio Quattro, if that is the scenario, we'll be hoping for a slip. Steve, these guys are still motoring at well over 300. Favours the brave, doesn't it? How brave is Valentin in the dry conditions? In Valentino Rossi's famous ranch in Tavuglia. Rainfall. We haven't had any more rain for quite...
Great job from him. Pol Espargaro, his up times from yesterday afternoon's dry session. Yesterday as well, there's no room for error on some of the...
Such a tricky braking zone. You're coming from fourth
downhill. It's just so easy to lose your braking mark.
With their experience, they would have known if they'd have just...
He's really struggling at the moment. He's now dropped to last place.
Unusual scenario. Magno has made another mistake.
Error, Oliveira looks like he's set to increase his
code this year, have we? He's normally been sort of ice the GP bike in rain conditions. I'm not sure how much longer. It's 41 lap of the morning session. Marquez back on top.
4 minutes left of this session. Mark.
On the brakes to now into S Blur. Oliveira, the 88 bike, then comes towards the finish.
He's a handy wet weather rider in his super stock 1,000 days. Through turn
and gets down to a 42.041 when it was the wettest of the session right at the beginning.
Salvadori, so the proof is in the pudding that the Aprilia both in.
You're brilliant. A 141.34. No, struggled in the rain conditions.
You know,
I think their weak point is half and half.
For Yamaha, there's Stefan Bradl. What a job.
He's shrugging his shoulders. Almost elsewhere from the likes of Rins and Zarco. Cabagnai, the World Championship leader.
Last lap though of 41.775 puts the Frenchman up,
which could move the likes of...
He has just found a bit of late pace. He's in 18th place, but it looks like
to get out there. Then bikes like Lecker won't jump on another bike.
Yeah, thanks for that, Simon. Very good.
4-9. That'll be a massive jolt of confidence. And
4 or 5 riders who would all
rapid and impressive bike swap